And there we are. We are officially live. This is TikTok Live number 24. Today is Sunday, the 24th of March. Wow, we're already a quarter into 2024, huh? Everyone alive? Everyone surviving? Everyone's making it through? Everyone's still getting groceries? My groceries are crushing me. It's like about 150 a week, which is 900 a month, obviously, right? But I only have 1,100 left over after my monthly rent. So I'm kind of cutting it close there, friends. Suzanne Stars, what's up? Linda Baxter Ross, what's going on? Jeremy Vogel, Rosie Smith, Esther Reed, Hector, what's up, friends? Matthew Fethauer, Stephen Ungar, what's up, friends? Thanks for coming on. Who else is here? What's up? Angela Powers. What's up, Angela Powers? What's going on? Everyone's on here. Let's go. All right, let's ask some questions. Let's get to the question and answer. Let's do the Q&A segment now. Someone asked a question. Let's go. Tay Nguyen. What's up, Tay Nguyen? What's going on? Hey, friends. Sean joined. Amanda Gutierrez joined. Marianne Hamilton. Melissa H. Victor Mendoza joined. Candy joined. Tommy says, explain breathing. Oh, let me open this up bigger. Okay, Tommy said, explain breathing. Is breathing voluntary or involuntary? And we can just stop breathing. Well, stopping breathing doesn't sound like a good idea. Why am I explaining breathing? Ashwar USA joined, Z Oneto joined, Drew joined, Coy joined, Coy like the live. Thanks, Coy. Michelle Lauren Garcia joined. What's up, friends? What other questions we got? Ashley joined. What's up, Ashley? JC joined. Oscar Galindo. Alana joined. Tommy, medical student. I mean, so it sounds like you could explain breathing to me. Jay Bowser 15, what are your keys to getting into dental school? Well, you want to have a good GPA. Depending on what school you come from, they might have a really good name for themselves that historically place students into dental school consistently. Your letters of recommendation, your DAT score, these are all things that are very important. Melissa H, hi from East Texas, dental assistant here. What's up, Melissa? Thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining. East Texas. Where would you say Austin is? I would say Austin is probably right about the middle and towards the southern part of the state, right? I was just there 3 weeks ago. A lot of fun. Good success management. Said orthodontist mentioned IPR, and I'm scared because I want to keep my tooth's integrity. Well, it sounds like a question for your orthodontist, doesn't it? Saw it again, Helen. Can you do a tooth implant 10 years after tooth is pulled? Well, yeah, it really depends on the amount of bone that is filled in the socket, right? When you remove the tooth, the root, it leaves a hole in the bone, right? The tooth socket. That's going to have bony refill over time, depending on how much bone you have, both height and width, because sometimes the buccolingual dimension misses out as well, especially in maxillary teeth, after the tooth is removed. 10 years later, you've probably lost a lot of bone there, but I don't want to get ahead of myself because I don't know your x-rays. I haven't done an exam on you. It's definitely a good question for your local dentist, maybe an oral surgeon if you can see them. Tommy, just wondering how breathing process, can you explain it? Well, I mean, I can explain it, right? Like your diaphragm gets activated, making it a voluntary. Technically, it's involuntary and voluntary in certain ways, right? Depending on how you want to look at it. But nonetheless, your diaphragm gets activated and your diaphragm contracts. That increases, as it contracts, the diaphragm contracts inferiorly, bringing air in through your nostrils and inflating up the lungs. The other way is the diaphragm relaxes, and then it slowly lets out all the air from the lungs. Okay, is that a simplified version, Tommy, medical student? Melissa H, yes, I'm closer to Tyler. Oh, I'm not sure where Tyler is in Texas. Ben Ziobro, what fellowships are you looking to do? Hey, Ben, I'm not looking to do any fellowships. I want to get out and work. In oral surgery, you can do fellowships, head and neck surgery, plastic surgery, cosmetics. I'm not looking to do a fellowship whatsoever. I want to get out and work in private practice setting. Teeth, titanium, sedations, titanium meaning implants, teeth meaning all complicated extractions, especially wisdom teeth and such, and go from there. Steffi Pants 070. Hi, have you seen amyloidosis? Actually, did see a patient about 9 months ago. Amyloidosis or sarcoidosis was another one. There was a differential. They couldn't figure out what it was. In fact, it was a patient with bilateral swelling of the parotid glands, which was, and it was not seen intraorally. It was strictly the parotid glands. So we were thinking mumps, measles. We were thinking something along those sorts, and they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't conclude what it was. Omer, hey, I'm doing OMFS externship at University of Toronto and McGill. How can I stand out? Well, I mean, standing out is going to be something that the program notices, right? I don't think you could say that it's a sure thing. You do this and you're going to stand out, right? Does that make sense, Omer? But what I would say is always be ready to give a helping hand. Always be 15 minutes early to everything. Always stay into the last person on those days. But really the number one thing is just helping out where you can. Always, giving some help. Hey, can I pour up those models for you? Hey, can I help assist in the surgery? Can I get you an instrument? Do you need help signing that consent form, getting that consent form filled out? Things along those sorts, right? Within your limits of what you can do as an extern, of course. Matt, Nick, Billy, Marino, where do you plan on settling and why? Well, I'm looking for a private practice, and we'll see. Probably Long Island. The reason is, I'm born and raised Long Island, grew up there, and there is a practice I'm starting to look at now that's pretty close by my home where I grew up in Smithtown on Long Island. And if I could potentially purchase that house and save some money on that purchase, and then depending on how I want to do it, I could use a lot of that extra money to build it into what I want it to be over time. It's a great spot. It's a quiet development. You can see the pond through the backyard from the back doors. So it would be a nice spot to settle down. And there is a private practice out there that I'm looking at. It's actually multi-practice, and that's only about a 25-minute drive. I want to try and keep the commute down. But that being said, I'm looking for the right opportunity. I don't want to take call. I do not want to work weekends anymore. I've been doing it for a full 4 years during residency. I'm going to have done it. And I really had enough of that. I really want to raise a family. I want to treat patients in the practice. I want to do, like I said before, complicated teeth, implants, big implant cases, sedations, so on and so forth. The normal oral surgery, dental alveolar, private practice cases. And I really want to build a practice. I want to see what we can do there. I really want to I would like to try and buy in as a partner there in the coming years and really start beginning my life. Sometimes in healthcare, they say it's delayed gratification. I would argue that, but I don't want to get into that right now. What I'm saying is I would really like to start getting going on, starting a family, get a house, start to really get back into some of the hobbies I love, like music producing, things like that really make me happy. And I would like to have time for that after residency again one day. Abbas, I have 6 wisdom teeth. My surgery's in 1 week. I'm so nervous. Well, Abbas, hopefully you're getting your wisdom teeth removed by an oral surgeon. I wouldn't worry about it. Maybe you're getting sedation. They'll get you pretty comfortable from there. You'll be just fine, all right? Good success management. Is palatal expansion possible in the 30s? I've seen success on YouTube. Orthognathic surgery is less indicated after about 40 years old, because the magnitude and how common adverse effects happen from the surgery. It's about that age that it happens after. Can it still be possible in your 30s? Yes. I mean, you've seen it. You've seen success on YouTube. I don't know. I would consult your oral surgeon that you're potentially thinking about getting it with, right? And I would go over all the side effects and all the risks and such, so you really know what you're getting yourself into before you do it, right? Leland, how competitive is OMFS? Leland, it is very competitive. It is between ortho and oral surgery, they are the most competitive specialties in dentistry. Kylie Culver. What's up, Kylie Culver? Are you setting up practice in New York? I do plan to set up in New York, on Long Island specifically. It won't be my practice. I'm looking to buy into something that already exists and see what I could bring to the table. Marketing-wise, obviously surgery-wise, but I want to see what else I could bring in addition to just being a surgeon in the practice. Melissa H., I work at an outpatient VA clinic. It's awesome to help the veterans. Yeah, it is, right? I love spending time with the veterans, and if you can get a story out of them here or there, that's always nice to see. Spending time with veterans, spending time at old age homes. I used to work in an assisted living home, the Bristol in East Northport on Long Island. I used to lifeguard there I did it for 5 summers. The summer after high school, and then 4 summers after that up until I started dental school. And just, you really learn a lot by talking with older people, right? More experienced, but more life experienced people. And I think everyone should spend some time doing that. I got lucky. I was there already, working as a lifeguard, and just the they took care of me nicely being there, and they were all very sweet. But some of the life stories that they have are just unbelievable, and I think it's really good to learn from them. A Huma 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you do on an OMFS externship? Currently an OMFS assistant, and wondering what would be different. So an externship is for dental students where they go to a residency program and they observe and shadow the oral surgery residents for about a week's time. That's how we do it in the United States, at least. I know the last person was going in Toronto. Alyssa H. Yes, for veterans. Live. What GPA do I need for OMFS? Well, I mean, look, I've gotten this question before, and what I usually like to say is get the best GPA you can. Now, I know that's cliche, but listen, get the best GPA that you can without compromising who you are, right? Don't be trying to, put down others in the dental school class or giving false answers. I've seen it all. And it's always important to be a team player. I really think that's important. That's how you get to oral surgery. And that's how you thrive through an oral surgery residency. Really. As far as a GPA, do the best you can. You want to have a high GPA, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. And I would not sacrifice your relationships and friendships in dental school in order to maximize your GPA. Not my opinion there. No, I don't like that. Kelly Culver, high taxes there. Yeah. Oh, super high taxes. So I make $77,000 this year. That's my salary as a third-year oral surgery resident in Manhattan, and so I live fairly close to the hospital in order to, I could get there in a pinch if there's an emergency and I'm on call or something, right? Or on second call. That happened last Friday, actually. Not last, 2 Fridays ago. I had to get in. I had to go help out with someone with a scalp laceration, and there was a lot of bleeding. There were a bunch of arterioles that needed to be closed off in order to repair the lac. And so my apartment's very close to the hospital, right? And my rent is $2,900 a month. Now, my check that I get every 2 weeks is $2,000. So that's $4,000 a month. $4,000 a month times 12, that's what, 36? And after tax, so that's $36,000, right? Am I right? 4, 12, 36,000. So my rent is $36,000 a year. My salary is $77,000, but after taxes living in Manhattan, that's only $38,000. I'm sorry, $48,000. So $77,000 after taxes, I get $48,000 minus $36,000 for rent. That's only $1,100, $1,200 left over. It's about $1,200, left over a year. Yeah, a year. So it's about $1,000 to $1,100 a month that I have left over after for groceries. Groceries are $900, and that leaves me about $200 left over a month for traveling, eating food, going out to get dinner at a nearby spot. Yeah, I know I was back and forth a lot there. There was a lot of numbers. So that's it, though. Very high taxes. Not much play money left over, unfortunately. Stephanie Miller, my OMFS, who did my wisdom teeth, called me from later that night to check in. It's a kind gesture. That is a kind gesture. I would stick with that oral surgeon, Stephanie. That was very nice of him to check in. Omer, yeah, it makes sense. Also, what do you think is better before I apply to OMFS, internship or GPR? I would apply directly for oral surgery, right? And then I would worry about it later. Internship versus GPR, here's the thing. What is your CBSE score like, right? Generally, it's going to be you did fine on the CBSE or you didn't. If you didn't do well enough on the CBSE and that's why you're not getting into oral surgery, then you probably need to do a GPR year so you actually have time to study for it. If you apply, you don't get in, and your CBSE was fine, you need to look at other things. Then I would do an internship to make sure that you can prove yourself that this is what you want to do, right? And that'll add to your resume as far as experience goes, your interest, how committed you are. Does that make sense? So that's when you get there, you're not there yet. Dose of you, what is average for new grad GPA? Wait, I missed that. Average for new grad GP? Average what? Salary? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure for a GP salary, newly grad. Manny, how do you study for success? Quizlet. Manny, in dental school, how do you study and stay focused? Quizlet, staying focused, use noise-canceling headphones. I would leave my phone in the car when I go in and study in the library or at Panera or Starbucks. Leave the phone in the car. Don't connect iMessage to the laptop. Get the noise-canceling headphones, and you can really zone in a setting like that. The rustle and bustle with noise-canceling headphones, you won't get distracted. The rustle and bustle will kind of keep you awake, though, if you know what I mean. if you know what I mean, those 10 to 15 hour days that you have to do sometimes. And then I would listen to either white noise, like a thunderstorm or something, rain, or a big one is progressive house mixes. You can find that on Grand Sound. That's like the thing. It's like a house tempo in the background with a very melodic, like a peaceful melody in the back, and there's no words, so you don't get distracted either. Vlad, is pharmacy worth it? It depends. It depends. I'm hearing a lot of, in fact, Dr. Connie Wang was a pharmacist, and then she switched over to dentistry. So I don't know enough about pharmacy, but that's one. That's one example. Melissa H followed the live creator. Thanks, Melissa. Thank you. Cody, hey doc, is teeth bleaching worth it? Well, see if it's worth it for you. I don't know what your teeth look like, or whatnot. I don't know how sensitive your teeth are. I would definitely get a consult with your general dentist who can do teeth whitening and see what they can do there, right? I had very sensitive teeth. I used an at-home tray, which is less concentrated in the chemicals that help whiten your teeth. And it just burned my teeth. Like I couldn't. So just be careful. Everyone has different levels of sensitivity and whatnot. How's Debbie, Carl, Frank, Lip, Ian, and Fiona? I don't know what that question. User 866 follow live creator. Thanks, user 866. Thanks, friend. Get it because of Shameless the show. Oh, they were asking because of Shameless. Frank Gallagher. Gotcha. Because my last name's Gallagher. I got it now. I actually haven't watched that show, and I don't think I ever am going to. I get asked if I'm from the show like once a week, and they don't really put on a good. They don't really show the Gallaghers as like a good name. I feel like they're like trashy, but what are you gonna do? I have a nice summer break after D1. What's the best way to get a solid foundation for the CBSE? Well, one, I would know what you're studying for. The best way to do that is to take it once. I would suggest take it once before you really start studying for it. When you do take it, you know what you're studying for, and you start. I just put up a podcast with Brandon Axelrod from Stony Brook. He crushed the CBSE. This is a month ago. We put up a 45-minute podcast on basically how to crush the CBSE. It'll tell you everything, what to study, how to study, the hours, the plan leading up to your CBSE. Listen to that episode. That's literally the key. That is the key for you crushing the CBSE. All right, El? I got you. Old Spice asked, appreciate the transparency. Yeah, you got it. You got it, Old Spice. Great deodorant. Great body wash, by the way. Nicole, hey from Ontario, Canada. Hey, what's up, Nicole? Hello, Ontario, Canada. User 1812. Love your videos. Thoughts on NYU Dental? I got waitlisted to Stony Brook. Well, NYU is very expensive, and they're one of the top 3 most expensive schools in the United States. In addition to that, there's a lot of students in the class size. It's 400 students in each class. There's a lot of students there, and that might take away from your clinical experience if you don't have as much hands-on, like one-on-one time with the attendings, the dentists that teach. Old Spice, does your program have a good working relationship with plastics and ENT? Yes and no. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. Donald Stewart 460. But for the most part, we do though. Donald Stewart, I am guessing you are not a dentist yet. A dentist can make way more than $77,000. Yes, I am a dentist. That is false. I am a dentist. I'm a resident in oral maxillofacial surgery training right now. All right, Donald? So in residency, you work in a hospital setting or any type of clinical setting, and you're still technically in training. You are a dentist, or even in residency on the medical side of healthcare, you are a doctor at that point, but they're training you into a specialty. And while you're still in training, they take a lot away from your earnings and your salary. It's just what they say it costs to train you and teach you. I would largely disagree with that, but what are you going to do? Omar, how far off from dental school curriculum would you say the CBSE is? It's nothing like the dental school curriculum. It's very far off. Manny, in PA school, and it's rough, LOL, tRNA push through. Yeah, yep. Just got to push through, Manny. You got this. Omar, I was looking at sample questions and it was so far off. Yeah, it is. It's completely different. It's based on the step 1, which is the medical school board exam, right? Lib said, what advice would you give for a student starting DMD next year in terms of preparation? Just relax. You'll find out what you need to know on day 1. Until then, I would try and travel, spend a lot of time with friends and family, because you're going to lose a lot of the time when you start school for 4 years. Just do that. You do you right now. You know what I mean? Get everything else off your plate. You wanted to go to Thailand, Iceland, Europe, do it. Go skiing now, visit the beaches now, visit your family now. Really, really do. That's my recommendation. That's what I would suggest. Jefferson S. Raskin, hey Doc, happy Sunday. What's up, Jefferson? Happy Sunday. L, do you think paying for the actual test or just take a practice test at home before starting? The practice test isn't really going to simulate the entire experience and situation. So, look, you get 6 tries to take the CBSE while you're in dental school. I mean, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine if you take it once. You know what I'm saying? It's a really good idea to expect what you're getting yourself into. Sam Walker 892. What were your stats when you applied to dental school? I had a 22 DAT average with a 22 in the PAT section. I had a 3.6 GPA. I had a 3.8 from Stevens Institute of Technology, and it combined with 3.4 from NYU Polytechnic School of Engineering. So that came out to a 3.6. I was athletics. I was in a basketball team in college. I won a research award. I got letters of recommendation I needed. Did about 150 shadowing hours. In my gap year, I worked for an oral surgeon as a surgical assistant. What am I missing? I was in the Irish club in dental school. I was in the Catholic club. I'm sorry, in undergrad. I was in Catholic club in undergrad. I think I covered it. I think I got all the big things. Yeah. Joe Verderico, what do you plan to do after you finish? After I finish, I graduate oral surgery residency June 2025, just a little over a year now. Oh man, I'm waiting. And I'm looking for private practices to go into. That's what I'm looking for. I really want to be in private practice. I do not want to go into a DSO. I just don't think that's the setting that I want to get myself into. I don't. I want full autonomy, and I want to work with practice to build it. Sam Walker, what were your stats? I did that. Jefferson Raskin said, I would have been 4-gen NYU DDS. I'm too claustrophobic to be in the mouth all the time. Well, 4th is pretty awesome. That would have been amazing. Jawman, shout out to All County. Jawman, what's up, Dr. Chavkin? Dr. Chavkin's on. He's one of the guys. I really like his practice. I really liked his model. Congrats to him. He just bought another practice, Tribeca. Dr. Chavkin's crushing it. I'm really looking forward to talking with him a bit more about this. Yeah. He's got a really nice office in Melville that looks like that would be one I would consider working in there. I'd be very interested. That's about 25 minutes from my house. We'll see where it goes. Dr. Chavkin, you got to get me over the contract. Let's go. We got to talk it over. Colleen sent 3 roses. Thank you, Colleen. Omer said, I heard 60 is a good CBSE score. How does it work? How many correct answers is that? So it's scaled, right? 60, I don't know if I would say, I would bump that number up to at least a 70, even 75 at this point now because it's so competitive. But even if you don't get a 70, you still have a shot at getting in, okay? I don't want to discourage you. There's still a shot depending on the rest of your application. Colleen, hi from Washington State. What's up, Colleen? Colleen from Washington State, hello. Thanks for the roses. Sam Walker, 892. Wow, amazing. I had a 3.5 GPA in undergrad, and I was worried. Try and get that up if you can, but you're looking in a good spot. K Creatine said I scheduled my dental appointment for 2:30. And I felt so proud of myself. Yeah, I know, the 2:30 joke. Well, I hope none of your teeth hurt after that. Manny, dream car? I want to get the Cybertruck. I got to say it, guys. I want to get the Cybertruck. I really do. I actually made a down payment for it, a month ago? And it takes 12 to 18 months to come in. And I graduate in about 15 months. So, and they said it's going to take most likely going to take longer than that, more like 18 months to 2 years. So everything should check out. And I really like the idea of the Cybertruck because it's electric, right? Good for the economy. Good for the environment. Good for the economy too. Good for the environment. It's safe. It's bulletproof. It's got a nice exoskeleton on it. So when I do eventually have kids, I hope. I think it would be a really safe vehicle to get them to and from soccer practice or school or whatever from in, that's why. That's my thoughts. It's not about me. It's about safety and the future. Jefferson, the iron is I moonlight for a dentist now. That is funny. That is pretty funny. User 434917, what was your study schedule for the CBSE? What resources did you use? Thanks for asking the question. My friend, go to the podcast I put up with the ultimate I called it CBIC Dissection. You can find it on Spotify, you can find it on YouTube. This is a podcast I did with Brandon Axelrod, who took the CBSE just a month ago. And we put this up like 3 weeks ago. I mentored him on what to study for, and then we went over it in a 45-minute podcast to go through the best way to maximize your potential in the CBSE. I would listen to that. Okay, just listen to that. Everything's on there. Bassett said, taking my DAT this summer. Any tips? Study hard, my friend. I can't just go into a couple tips like that. That's a very big question. I'm not a fan of DSOs, but Leading Edge or Progressive has good people on Long Island. Jefferson. Hey, Jefferson, so you know. Yeah, I do know pretty much everyone at Leading Edge, believe it or not. I know Josh Gish. He is the president of Leading Edge. Leading Edge is actually the oral surgery division of Dental 365, and the CEO of that is Scott. And so on and so forth. They have a lot of stuff, but I'll say it, like I'm not so much of a fan of their model. I'm just really not, like working 6 days a week, 8 to 6. The sixth day, which is Saturday, is about they call it a half day short, but then I think their surgeons, the younger surgeons, take call once a month, one weekend a month. A DSO turns a surgeon into an employee, turns doctors and dentists and surgeons into employees of the practice. You go in, you leave, you collect your check. Half of it goes to taxes because you're an employee. You don't get to run certain benefits through the business itself, among other things. And when you're working for a company like that, they have all the power and all the scheduling and all the management, and you lose a bit of autonomy in that process, right? So that being said, you got to really look under the hood. You have to really look behind the curtain of what's going on in some of these DSOs, right? There are better DSOs out there. There are worse DSOs out there. You have to look at what you're looking for, right? You really need to recognize what you're looking for and what's going to make you happy. If you're thrilled with dental school and residency where you just come in and leave at the end of the day, maybe a DSO is for you. But if you came into the profession where you're like the mom and pop shop model, where the office is owned by someone, maybe the dentist that owns it, him or her, then the DSO might not be for you. Gentleman said, we'll have it this week. Let's go, Dr. Chavkin. I'm ready. I'm waiting. We also got to get that Instagram account over too, so we can, get the ball rolling there. We're all ready to go. We just got to do the audit and the ball's rolling. Omer, so is the score dependent on how other candidates do? Potentially, yes. Yeah, it's scaled. Jefferson, if you like placing implants, reach out to Prudenti at Pure. I'm not sure what Prudenti at Pure is. That's another DSO, right? I'm not just going to go in and place implants all day. I want to actually develop a relationship with patients and the community around the office, right? I want to work with those people. I want to help them. That's very important to me. Actually, I would like to do a mission trip each year too. For another time. Colleen, what made you want to get into the dental field? Well, my mentors were these 3 dentists that used to go to the gym that I went to. And I was thinking doctor, PA, medicine, something like, and they were like, come see what we do. I did. I shouted all of them, cosmetic, general dentist, oral surgeon, and fell in love with it. And I was like, I want to do this. They were also such a great time to see at the gym. Very motivating, very funny, always a good attitude. And that's who I want to be. I want to follow in their footsteps, K-creatinine, my dentist is the best. I had fluoride-free childhood. So he does a lot extra to help. Excellent. K-creatinine, I think Rivian has better electric truck. Why? On what basis is Rivian the better truck? Mark Zolkenko, I've heard mixed opinions on fluoride. Your thoughts? Well, if you're not using fluoride, what are you going to eliminate bacteria in your oral cavity with, right? You're not eating the toothpaste. You should be spitting that out after, right? And it's putting a good coating on the surfaces of your teeth. In fact, it can help reverse demineralization and reverse it, forming remineralization of your teeth to help the enamel and surface layers of the tooth. So I think, hey, if you're questioning, you should look into it a little more, From a ML PhD to dentist doctor. All right. Oh, Mark, you're asking that you're an ML PhD and you're asking me, the dentist doctor. I got it. But does that make sense with the fluoride, right? Like you're not eating the fluoride, right? So Jefferson said, I get it. I've done a few Saturdays out on the island. Yes. So I've done enough Saturdays, over 24 hours being on call. I really had enough. I want to build a family. It's taking away from your time with family if you're leaving at 1:30 in the morning through your 30s, 40s, and 50s. When you have a newborn and you got to get up the next day to, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? There's responsibilities you need to have as a parent or father, and I think Monday through Friday is the work schedule. I don't know where 6 days a week came from. I thought the idea of going into a profession where you work very hard. You're getting 12 plus years of education to get into oral surgery. 4 years college, 4 years dental school, 4 to 6 years of residency training. I thought the idea was to work very hard and you need to use your training and knowledge basis, but not to work more to make more. I thought it was the idea to like make more, but work less, working smarter, not harder. That was the impression I thought growing up. I didn't expect myself to work in 6 days a week when I was way back dreaming of being a doctor or a fireman or something. I was in elementary school. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. Mark, best recommendations for small cavities? I would really visit your general dentist to get the it was going over. I gotta go quick. Visit your general dentist and get a consultation, right, Mark? My dentist tried diagnosing me with tooth decay at 19, but it doesn't hurt, and all other dentists said it's staying. What should I do? If all other dentists is like 3, and that one they said is tooth decay on 19, I mean, you could always monitor it and watch, right? But I don't know. Maybe take the other. It's up to you. It's up to you. Whosever opinion you want to go with. Jefferson said, I overhear a typical DSO comp package not worth it, no equity. Yeah, I know. And even the equity, look, like you might not get that equity. And then when that DSO sells or buys more practices, it dilutes or changes the prices of those shares in the equity that you have. And you can't just sell that equity whenever you want. There's always a hold on it, right? Investors come first, surgeons come second in those models. I'm not a fan of that. Apple user 83937, you missed my question about craniofacial ortho. Oh, I'm sorry, Apple. Can you say it again? User 119 said best scrub brands. I don't get paid to recommend scrub brands, so I'm not going to recommend any unless I can make one, and then I would recommend it if I do feel that it's better than others. Thanks, Doc. I personally like fluorides. I had some people spout conspiracies into my mind. Yeah, Mark, I would just, dude, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that simple. You're not swallowing that toothpaste. I wouldn't recommend doing that, right? But it does clean your teeth. It helps eliminate bacteria in the oral cavity, and it can, in some cases, help reverse demineralization of the teeth. Mark Zucco, thought I verify from an actual doctor. That's hard to get time with my dentist. Oh, I hear you. Now, look, none of this is medical advice. None of this is, right, I can't do that over social media and whatnot. These are just solely opinions here. George Ramirez, 908, what is diaper rash? How exactly does diaper gives a baby rash? I don't know. I don't have any kids. That's not something I've learned. Apple user, and how often do you spend time with craniofacial orthodontists in CLCP cases? I've never worked with a craniofacial orthodontist yet. There is a craniofacial orthodontist that I've connected with on LinkedIn, actually, and I'm looking to get a podcast in with her in the future. I think this would be great to get a better understanding to the listeners, on podcast and YouTube, to understand more about what craniofacial orthodontist is and what it entails and how to get into that point and, what you're doing on a daily basis. I think that would be exciting. All right, last couple questions. Anuj Selvaraj, I start dental school in July. Any tips on becoming the best dentist I can be? Yes. Relax before you start school. Visit friends, family, and travel. All that's going to go away and be very difficult once you start. Okay, so do that now. User 119, where do you go to dental school? Stony Brook, out on Long Island in New York. User 6226, follow the live creator. Thank you. User 6226. Jazz, pre-dental hygiene student. What's up, Jazz? Hope your day's going well. Thank you, Jazz. We're on here. I'm here with you guys. This is like therapy. This is like church and therapy to me. That I really like connecting with you guys, and I hope you appreciate it too. Oh, by the way, the top 3 listeners that stayed on the whole episode, I see when I close out of this live in a few seconds, right? And I show in the caption in the podcast and YouTube who the top 3 listeners were. All right. So if you've been listening to the whole episode, you'll be on there. All right, the top 3 listeners. So thanks for coming on, everyone. 2 more questions. Carlos Hernandez Pavon, what are your thoughts on dental anesthesiology? I'm considering doing that as my specialty. Anesthesia is great. Dental anesthesia, very relatively new specialty to go into. I would recommend shadowing one and getting a better idea of what they do day in, day out. I don't know how that's going to plan out as far as the profession goes, and the specialty goes, like on a day-to-day basis after you graduate. Do you get to work in a private practice? Is it in a hospital setting only? I don't know. Jazz, dentistry is amazing. Yes, it is. Mark, last question. Mark Solkenko, what is the future of dentistry with AI? Will it help you take on more patients and reduce staff? Well, that's just dangerous. I mean, a lot of these DSOs push the amount of patients seen by providers to the maximum, right? And it is predominantly DSOs that generally have the lawsuit cases, the big lawsuit cases. That's what they're telling me. I talk to these malpractice insurers, and this is what they're saying. The majority of them come from DSOs. Not only, they come from everywhere, but majority in DSOs. So I think utilizing anything just to see more patients, and you have these other organizations that are taking a cut of that paycheck, and insurance reimbursement is so low as it is, I think we're getting in a really dangerous part where we're just pushing providers to see more and more patients and do things quicker. I think the key to the future is actually going to be based upon ratings of dentists, surgeons, doctors. And in order to do that, to actually do that, get a good rating, I think you need to spend more time with patients. So I think the future is going to be, and this is what I want to do, create a database where it really kind of compiles patient ratings of dentists, doctors, lawyers, etc. a little bit more. Yes, I know there's super lawyers for lawyers. Yes, I know there's ZocDoc. I want to make something better. I'm going to do this, whether you want to use it or not. And we're going to compile all the ratings in one place. And what that's going to allow everyone to do is to look at active ratings on a daily basis. If everyone that makes a payment in an office puts a rating for a dentist, you can get upwards of 20, 30, 50 ratings a day, right? That's going to really show active numbers on a daily basis when you're working there. And I think what this is going to allow the dentist to do is really kind of hone in on the patients that are for that dentist, specialty maybe. They're going to be doing different treatments. The type of patient that's willing to pay whatever it is in order to see this dentist, doctor, surgeon, whatever, for their treatment. And then they're going to be paying out of pocket. It's going to be more expensive, but you're paying for that time and specialty and training and knowledge basis and all the ratings that provider has earned over time. This is how I see this playing out, and much more to come in the future. I got a bunch of ideas. I think we need to get better care to patients. We need to treat providers better. We need to make this about patients again, patient-centered care rather than insurance-centered care. It's going to be a long process. I'm predicting between 2 to 5 decades, depending on how I can kind of get in there and make these systems and services. But essentially, I really want to get it to be about the patients again, and it's not right now. Just my opinion. All right, friends, I'm going to sign off. We'll talk soon. Thanks so much for coming on. Again, the top 3 listeners who stayed on the entire episode, whoever TikTok shows me, I put it in the caption and when I get it posted later. All right, friends, thanks so much again for coming on. Love you guys. You guys are my family. And check out the podcast. Check out the YouTube channel. Get me on Instagram if you like. And let's keep in touch. All right? Talk to you soon.